Hey guys, it's Lisa from the blog Farmhouse on Boone.com, and today I'm here with Laura from Lokey Designs. So I showed recently on my Instagram a succulent, what should I call this?
Succulent arrangement.
A succulent arrangement, and I had a lot of people ask me how I made it and the process, and the truth is I went to a planting party that she did with her business, and so I don't actually have expertise in that area. So I thought I would invite her in just to tell us a little bit about succulents and the care of them and how to arrange them nicely and some tips and things like that. So where do we start?
You start by picking your plants. So usually, depending on where you're gonna put it in your home, is how you're gonna choose the type of succulent or double succulents that you want to plant in your container. So best rule of thumb is the darker the succulent, the less natural light it needs. And then the lighter, brighter colors, like the blues and purples, usually need some more natural sunlight. So that's a really good place to start, and then you can kind of go from there.
Okay, so in my windowsill here,
Yep.
I have this lighter color one, which I guess is a good option.
It's definitely good. You've got a lot of white in your kitchen, so it's bouncing a ton of color. So even if you didn't have it right in your window, it's perfect because your kitchen's getting a ton of natural light.
So I've had this succulent arrangement that I made at the planting party that she did for about 2 months now, and it's still going strong. So obviously this is a good location for it.
Oh yes, it's definitely doing good. It's really healthy. You can really tell by the look of the leaf. So the best rule of thumb to tell if it's still healthy after time is the leaves are still kind of puffy and strong to the touch. If they start to get a little bit translucent or kind of wrinkled, or even they get a little bit more like wiggly, that means they're probably taking on a little bit too much water. Succulents grow from the bottom up. So a lot of times people will think that their succulent's dying if there's leaves on the bottom that are kind of dried out and crispy. But actually, if the center is healthy and looks really good shape. That's actually what it's supposed to do.
Oh, okay. I would have definitely thought it was dying.
I know, right? That happens a lot. I get those questions a ton.
Yeah. Awesome. So I guess we'll talk more about care afterward. Do you want to show us how to make a nice succulent arrangement? Maybe some tips?
Sure.
On how to make them best?
Yes. These are kind of like the standard container that I like to use. It's nice because you can fit, you know, 1 succulent or 2 in it. It looks really nice wherever in your home. But you can use any kind of closed container. Really, it doesn't need drainage for succulents because they only need a couple squirts of water once a week.
Okay, so don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, so you can add just a scoop of the rocks in the bottom. So this is like a little drainage layer. It's just one little layer of rocks in the bottom. So you can do a little bit more than that.
Okay.
Okay, so now we have our drainage layer, which will help with keeping the soil from having too much moisture in it. This is actually a sand and soil mixture, so it's gonna kind of help to keep the moisture out of it.
Okay.
So succulents, they look like they're really tropical and botanical, but actually they're an arid plant. Okay. So they really don't like that moisture being locked in. So this kind of helps to ensure that there's no extra moisture in there that we don't want.
Okay.
So our next step is going to be to add in this soil, this special cactus and succulent mixture. So we want to add that in there all the way to the top of that liner. So not all of them have liners, but no worries. This stuff cleans up really easily too.
Okay. Nice. Also, you could just vacuum it right up.
Yeah, it doesn't really stick too much, which is nice, and it's not like super gritty dirty and like muddy dirty like most of them are. Okay. Since it is half sand, it really like kind of just brushes right off. So you're just going to pack that in all the way to the top and patting it down with your spoon, just like that.
So like really hard in here.
So as this dries out, it gets really like it's not as packed as this is right now.
Okay.
So basically you want to pack it in there really tight so when your succulent gets in there, it doesn't just tip right over.
Oh, okay.
Also another thing, as this dries out, it sinks. So you want to make sure your rocks and all of your pretty moss and stuff that we're going to put on top to decorate it doesn't just sink right to the bottom.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. It's packed in there really nice and tight. We're probably gonna have a little bit of spillover as you kind of put your succulent in there, but that's kind of what you want because you want the soil to be really packed in there tight. Your next step is gonna be to pick your succulent. So kind of based on, you can kind of do any of them in the lighting situation that you have.
Okay.
So
they can all handle full light.
They can.
It's just that some can't handle no light.
These ones, so the darker ones, they can't handle like that really direct hot sunlight. They can kind of burn up a little bit. But as long as it's getting some chance to kind of cool off a little bit. And
okay.
It's not getting hot to the touch or something, they'll be fine.
Okay, I like this one. This one's pretty.
Perfect. So
really
you can
nice.
just take that one. We kind of cleared a spot. You can use like a piece of paper or lay down whatever, basically something to just catch all that dirt.
Okay.
Because we are going to pop this guy out, almost like a push pop. So you're going to push all the way around.
Okay, like this sort of. Or...
So you're going to grab him from the roots.
Okay, just trying to
and
loosen it
let
without...
all of that extra stuff just fall right off.
Oh.
Because we don't want any of this extra soil. Usually it's just like packing. It's not really anything that's good for the plant.
So is that good?
Yes.
Just most of it's off?
Perfect. Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
So then we just want to make sure we have a big enough space. So this is where that little drop cloth or something will come in, or that piece of paper.
Okay.
As you can see, we're kind of letting a little bit spill off. Yeah,
okay.
so you can just pop that right in there.
Just put them in?
Yeah. We want to make sure that we're not touching the top. If you are, you're kind of just palming it a little bit. We don't want to touch with our fingers because your oils in your fingers can actually change the colors.
Oh.
So we want to make sure that when we're pushing down, we're pushing kind of at the soil. It's not going anywhere. If this dries out, we basically want to make sure that it's nice and tight in there and that it's bonding with that new soil. Kind of have them in a place that we like. Best thing to do is do a little wiggle test. It has a little bit of wiggle to it. So we can add a little bit more soil just to kind of add in there in the spaces that we kind of push down.
Make it towards completely full.
Yeah, even though we filled this all the way to the top, there's still so much more room. It's crazy. And don't worry about that dirt on top. We'll actually be able to take care of that at the end.
Okay.
Then we can use a straw, which comes in the little kit, to blow off any of that extra. Because if you're using your fingers, then it's going to take that color off of the coating that's on the succulent. So now we have him firm in there, or she, I don't know.
Yeah, is it a girl or a boy?
We can find out, whatever your kids name it.
Yeah.
All right, so then we've got kind of this, this spongy reindeer moss, or we have this ground covering moss, whichever one you want. Both kind of provide a different color. I really like the chartreuse color.
I do too.
Really bright pops.
Yes.
So the best thing is to kind of like get little strips and add them right in there at the corner, keeping some little bit wispy. Kind of up to you though, really. Some people like to do all rocks. In the kit, I offer all of the different materials, so you can do all rocks, you can do all moss. It's really up to you. So the way that I like to do it is to kind of grab a couple rocks that go together. Ooh, that one's really cool. Actually.
That's an interesting one. Okay.
I usually like to add in the moss, add your little rock, and then kind of keep going, like almost like mosaic-like.
Okay, just kind of fitting it in.
Yeah, and covering up all that soil, because once this dries, it looks really light brown and not as attractive and rich as it is right now.
That looks really pretty. I like how you did that.
Thank you. Yeah, so it's kind of really up to you. You can use, like I said, all rocks. You can use big rocks, small rocks. You can do a mixture of soil, or mosses here.
Okay.
You can even do sand. So if you wanted to do sand all the way around and then just pop a couple rocks on top of it, it looks really nice and clean.
Yeah, kind of like if you do like a little cactusy looking one, like a desert.
Exactly.
What do I do to care for this so I can keep this for a really, really long time?
Okay, so super simple. A lot of people actually overwater, and that's the problem with succulents. Pretty much 99% of people, after I tell them how to water it, are like, oh.
That's why I've killed all my succulents.
That's why they're dead.
Yeah, they just don't like a lot.
Yeah, so water bottle is the best. You can even buy a Target one for like 99 cents in their like travel section.
Okay.
But, or you can have like a really pretty one that you can put up on your shelf. Like
I'd probably want a pretty one. Yeah. Otherwise, you would, you need it out all the time to remember. Right. And so if it's not sitting there, you're going to forget to water it.
So the thing that I do even so now is that I don't even know what day of the week it is most of the time. So I set an alarm in my phone. So one time a week.
Like a recurring alarm that always goes off?
Tuesdays at 6 o'clock. I walk around my house with my spray bottle and just squirt stuff.
You must have a lot of succulents in your house.
I have a lot of plants. So yeah, lots of easy to care for plants. That's the name of this game. So once a week, you're just going to get right to the soil and just go 1, 2, 3, and we'll do a little one because this one's a little bit bigger, but so 4 little half squirts all the way around. This has a really big nozzle, so I wouldn't want to do like full gigantic squirts, but basically just little squirts.
4 squirts
Add
once
the
a
soil,
week.
not on top.
Okay.
Once a week.
Because the top, it will actually like damage the coloring and everything.
Yeah, it can add water spots. It can actually take on water inside of the leaves, and that can lead to like rotting from the inside out, which is really bad.
Yeah, that's not what you want.
Yeah.
Okay, very, very pretty. So tell us about where we can find you on the internet and what you offer to customers.
So I do DIY classes with the succulent arrangements. I do those all around St. Louis. You can find me at lokeydesigns.com. And all of my classes are up on there as well. I'm gonna actually be having the DIY kits for sale on my website. So you can buy everything that you need, a succulent container, all of the stuff pre-measured, so you don't really even have to think about it. You don't have to go buy a big old bag of soil at the store or even a little straw. I'll have all of that stuff in there for you.
Okay.
And then I do already made arrangements. So if you just wanted to purchase one and be done,
okay.
I'm having those on my website as well as at Joy's Collective Market in St. Charles.
Okay, so you shipped all over the country as well?
I do.
Okay.
As far as Portland so far.
So if you're in the St. Louis area, you can find her in St. Charles, or you can find her at her class schedule on lokeydesigns.com. So a lot more of these tips are in the kit so that you can know how to care for things and just some of her tips on how to make really pretty arrangements. Also lots of example pictures in case you want to just think of different ways to arrange succulents. So that is a helpful resource at lokeydesigns.com. I will link it in the description below. Well, thank you so much, Laura, for showing us how to make succulent arrangements. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for more DIY videos like this, food from scratch, natural living in a handmade home. Thank you so much for stopping by the farmhouse.